अस्सलाम वालेकुम। प्रोग्राम एम्बेसी रोड में खुश आमदीद। नाज़रीन, आज हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में हमारे मेहमान हैं पाकिस्तान में इस्लामी जमहूरिया अफ़गानिस्तान के सफ़ीर डॉक्टर हज़रत उमर ज़खीलवाल। हम उनसे बातचीत करेंगे पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान के बाहमी ताल्लुक़ात के ऊपर और उनसे पूछेंगे कि दोनों मुल्कों में जो कि पड़ोसी मुल्क हैं, इस्लामी मुल्क हैं और बरादर मुल्क हैं, लेकिन उनके दरमियान उस तरह के ताल्लुक़ात नहीं हैं जो कि काबिल रश्क ताल्लुक़ात जिन्हें कहा जा सकता है, और उसकी क्या वजह है, यही आज का मौजू है। इस पर हम बात करेंगे। Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us in this show.
It's a pleasure.
Ambassador, usually our leaders have been saying that Pakistan and Afghanistan are twin brothers.
Indeed.
We share a long borders with each other. Indeed. But despite that, our relations are not very cordial as they should have been.
Indeed, indeed. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let me take this opportunity and first offer my deepest condolences to the bereaved families of the victims of the PIA air crash. It was certainly a very tragic incident that happened just a couple of days ago. Indeed, the relationship there needs to be special, the relationship there needs to be very close. It's not even ordinary. It's a relationship that is right now not doing well, at least state-to-state relations. It's certainly not reflecting the aspirations of the people of the two countries. People you just mentioned, it's not just the geographical connection, and there is this historic connection, the tribal connections, the cultural connection, the religious connection. You cannot find any two countries in the world, or perhaps very few two countries in the world. They are so interconnected. And perhaps that's the reason why we have these grievances. Because grievances usually within a family or within friends happens more where the relationships is multidimensional. Because in the many dimensions that we have, if one dimension is not working, then that develops grievances, and perhaps that's the reason. Perhaps that's because we are too close. That's why.
I think that's, yes, one of the reasons.
That could be the reason.
Yeah.
But I think it's more than that. I think the people to people, we have no issue. That relationship is there, that's strong, those fundamentals, in fact, those are the fundamentals of our relationship. But I think in state-to-state relations, we must admit that we've mismanaged that. We must admit that we are not doing well. We must acknowledge that more needs to be done. What is that more, of course, is open to a discussion.
Yes. But Master, despite efforts on both sides, President Ashraf Ghani visited Pakistan. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif went to Kabul. He had meetings with the Afghan leadership. The former Chief of Army Staff, General Rais Sharif, he visited Afghanistan.
Yes.
The DGMO and other military leadership of Afghanistan came to Pakistan, visited GHQ. We thought that things are moving in the right direction.
Indeed.
And they will produce very positive results.
Indeed.
But then something happened and the process was stalled.
Yes. I think at some point we need to go beyond statements, beyond the appearances, beyond the rhetoric. Indeed, I was involved in those meetings as well. In the 2014, when President Ghani came, prior to his meeting, I was here. I was the Minister of Finance then. And I have been, of course, in the loop since then as well, till today that I'm the President's Special Envoy and Ambassador here. We've done little substance-wise to match up the statements and the stated policies. It is the substance that is creating the grievances. It's the substance or the lack of progress on that is creating the noise. The truth is that Afghanistan is a country in a war. in a country that's continuously being damaged. This year, 2016, in 2 to 3 weeks' time, will come to a conclusion. We probably would have had the highest casualties in any of the past 15 years. Probably in the order of 15,
This year,
this
the
year,
current year.
the current year. Probably in the order of 40, 50, 60,000 or even more, mostly civilians. And a lot of destruction, worth billions of dollars. Schools, clinics, roads, bridges, ordinary livelihoods and all that. And those who inflict those damages are on us have not descended from sky. They're somewhere around. And that is what is creating, where exactly they are. Of course, they're fighting in Afghanistan, but where is their leadership? Where do they get inspiration from? Where they? It's those type of questions. That are a bit deeper questions.
Yes.
Then we must acknowledge, if we say that, look, yes, but we have nothing to do with it, or we on our side say, well, we are doing everything that we can do to have our relationship on track, but no, we can't blame Pakistan entirely for everything that goes wrong in Afghanistan. But Pakistan cannot deny entirely that it has nothing to do with the insurgents in Afghanistan either. And that sincere acknowledgement, if it takes place, and then of course there are practical steps to respond to those questions, then we will be on the right direction, and then we hope that we will get somewhere.
This is very strange because Pakistan is blaming Afghanistan for the troubles or for the happenings, whatever happens here in Pakistan.
Indeed.
And Afghanistan is blaming Pakistan.
Indeed.
So this blame game should come to an end. And
Indeed.
I think,
and how can it come to an end?
yes,
It has to stop.
it has to stop. Yes.
There should be a mechanism for verifying these elements that we blame indeed are not operating against us on your soil and against you on our soil. Right? In the past, since President Ashraf Ghani has come, because I was not so much involved in the security and other matters before that, the truth is, and I'm saying this of course very openly, any practical proposal, a comprehensive proposal between the two countries that's put on the table has come from Afghanistan. It first came from President Ghani, it again came from President Ghani, it again came from President Ghani. Because of the multidimensionality of our relationship, the comprehensive
what was the proposal, Ambassador? I mean,
well, the proposal is to how we, first of all, embarking on a path to normalize relationship and then make it special. How we respond to the terrorist threats on our soil and on Pakistan soil, on the elements that threatens you, on the elements that threaten us. They must not have space on our territories to threaten us. President Ghani embarked on that. The culprits of the Pakistani Army School were captured in Afghanistan, handed over. Since then, every leader of TTP that has been killed on Afghan soil or has been killed from Afghanistan, with the Afghan government forces involved in that. It's not to say that we cannot do more, we could. But we have done something that was needed, that was expected of us, right? Knowledge, it's not even, it's you can identify them, let alone we could identify them. I don't want to get into that because it's a very public knowledge now. Right now, where was Mullah Mansoor, for example? He was on Pak soil. Where was Mullah Hibatullah chosen? Well, in Quetta, right? That's where the meeting took place. Where do still those regular meetings took place? I mean, here, that's a public knowledge. I'm not going to get into that discussion Because if we get into right there, denial and counter accusation and that, we get stuck there. We say for whatever purpose. For whatever purpose, and that is how President Ghani put it forward, and he's still the same President Ghani. That for whatever purpose, Pakistani state institutions supported the Taliban movement to date, to continue fighting, well, we'll not make an issue of that. Let's use that influence now, moving forward, constructively, for peace. Peace for both of us. What threatens you, whether it's TTP or something else, in fact is an unintended byproduct of the policies that have supported Taliban.
That was in the past.
Yeah, well, but again, that past matters, right? You cannot blame Kabul for the creation of the TTP. TTP was an offshoot of the Taliban. Taliban is a body that is fighting us. Taliban is because of whose we have grievances against Pakistan.
But now the Western people and some people in Afghanistan are saying that only Haqqani network is being sponsored or being supported or being spared by Pakistan, and that group is creating problems.
Yeah.
They don't
because what if you go to the extreme, if Haqqani is mentioned, this mention is an example of the extreme. If support goes to that extreme, then you could be certain that more moderate ones definitely receive the same. Haqqani is just an example of the extreme. If you say, look, the support has gone way to this extreme, then certainly the area that is softer than that, you don't even need to raise it. It goes without saying.
But Master, efforts were made to actually facilitate or to pave a way for dialogue between Afghan government and Taliban. And 2 rounds of talks took place in Pakistan. And that process also didn't remain fruitful.
Indeed. I think what is needed is a bit more than that. Afghanistan is no longer asking Pakistan to pressure Taliban to come for peace talks. No, we'll find a way to do that. Afghanistan is asking Pakistan not to allow space. It's not even asking to go and kill Taliban. No, we know your problem. Do not allow them space. Space for recruitment, space for meetings, space for leadership, space for guiding more from here. Do not allow that. But let's not even stop there. You also have grievances. TTP is on your mind. India's influence in Afghanistan is on your mind. Let me be very frank about that. Yes. So that is on our mind. You are very suspicious of our intelligence agency the same way we are of yours. So that's on your mind. So let's be very open about it. Here, special relationship does not mean that, look, I'm going to just deliver this and that. No, we need to do more. We need to do more constructively and positively.
Master, we'll take short breaks.
Sure, let's do that.
Then we'll continue the discussion. नाज़रीन, एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में अफ़गानिस्तान के सफ़ीर से गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला जारी रखेंगे. वो हमें बता रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान में जो शुकूक और शुबहात हैं और एक दूसरे के बारे में जो गलत फहमियाँ हैं उनको दूर करने के लिए बहुत सारे इक़दाम हो रही है. पाकिस्तान में इस्लामी जमहूरिया अफ़गानिस्तान के सफ़ीर जनाब डॉक्टर हज़रत उमर ज़खीलवाल से. Yes, Ambassador, you were mentioning the steps we need to take.
Steps we need to. We have certainly some misperceptions as well. We have misperceptions about you. You have misperception about us. We need to remove those, and those could be removed by very Sincere, direct, open interaction, and where acknowledgement needs to be made, it needs, you know that there is a glass there, and you see it, and I just deny it, no, it's not there, then you then question my subsequent statements and everything else that goes with it. But when I say, yeah, it's here, right? And then we have issues, some misperceptions, but then there are some are substantial. Some are there. The truth is that the policies that has been pursued with respect to Afghanistan has not yielded good relations between us, has not benefited Pakistan either. As a result of these policies, Pakistan has paid a very heavy price. We acknowledge that. And we do not want Pakistan to be affected. And I know that ordinary people, by and large, do not want Afghanistan to be in the situation it is, for its own sake, first and foremost, but also because of the bounds that they have. But that would require a more sincere, practical steps.
Okay.
To respond to our grievances, and of course we will be absolutely open to
You
respond
just
to yours.
mentioned the Indian influence.
Yeah,
of
sure.
course, it's there on the minds of the Pakistani people.
Sure.
Recently, at the Amritsar conference, Heart of Asia conference, stories emanating from there, I mean the news stories and information that has traveled from there, is that President Ashraf Ghani rejected Pakistan's offer of $500 million to be given to Afghanistan. And a kind of hostile attitude was attributed to Afghan president. That's what the media is claiming.
Yeah. I'll explain. First of all, I think the most important question is not to make a highlight of this statement itself and whether it was hostile or, friendly or grievance driven or whatever. The most fundamental question is that this is the same Ashraf Ghani who came to Pakistan 2 years ago on his first visit. Not only went to Aiwan Sadr, into the Prime Minister's house, into the Prime Minister's office to meet the civilian leadership, he also went to GHQ to meet the military leadership. And he came with proposal. His first visit to India happened only a year after that. And then there was this very intensive interaction, mostly driven by him. That's what Ashraf Ghani was 2014, November. And exactly 2 years later, the fundamental question is, what led to that?
Obviously something has happened.
No, but that's an important one. It's an important one. I think there should be. I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer as to what happened there, or probably I've already answered it. But I think here, particularly in the media, in the intelligentsia in Pakistan, and of course within the government, they need to question that. Has mismanagement of this relationship, that Ghani put all his political capital on this relationship, all his political capital. He left none whatsoever on his relationship, on improving his relationship. And in return for that capital, he got nothing. Why did he didn't get anything? That's an important question. Now coming back to the statement of President Ghani. President Ghani has not rejected the $500 million. He said, look, if you bring in this money, and it's not just for Pakistan, for anybody else, and you invest in infrastructure, and if elements come and destroy it, what's the purpose of that? So let's invest this money in probably more, not only Pakistan's money, put it in a fund as to first and foremost use it to stop the fighting. And that initially will spare us the infrastructure that's already in place. And that infrastructure not destroyed is infrastructure saved in money saved.
Actually, in a
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
I'm not a diplomat.
Sure.
But in a way, actually, President Ghani was blaming Pakistan that Pakistan is not doing enough to control those elements or to rein in those elements.
That's not
who
the
are-
first time. That's
who
not
are-
the
who are
first time he said.
responsible for this
That's-
activities in Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's not the first time he said. He said it before, and I said too. And I said too. That it has not done enough.
No.
But I'm not saying in a hostile manner. I'm saying to explain to you that that's happening in a very friendly manner. And that's hurting us.
But Ambassador,
No,
the last
just I'm asking you right now. Pakistan is a country of close to 200 million people.
Yes.
And you also receive from time to time these explosions. 50 people killed in Quetta, 30 people in Peshawar, 50, 60 people. How much hurt does that bring to the whole country of 200 million people? Now imagine that with a country that is 1/8 or 1/10 of yours, has suffered for 35 years and suffers those type of incidents on daily basis. I give you an estimate, 40, 50, 60,000 people, not a single body is spared. You have to put it in that context. It has hurt us. And we believe that sincere efforts bilaterally could put an end to that, could help that.
Yeah,
And that
Ambassador,
should not be considered as hostile.
No,
That should be
I'm not saying that they are
considered
hostile.
as a sincere, frank, and fact neighborly interaction that we are
Yes.
having.
But do you think, Ambassador, that there is a lack of resolve and intent on the part of Pakistani leadership that they are not deliberately, doing it, and they are not sincere in resolving the issue and the challenge of the menace of terrorism, which is hurting both Afghanistan and Pakistan. And as you have said, that explosions taking place in Pakistani cities are hurting everyone. And despite that, do you think that the leadership on this side doesn't understand the implication?
I don't believe that they don't understand the implication. I think they understand the implication for us. They understand the implication for Pakistan as well. Because a country next door, if it's burning, then you will get the heat. And you are getting the heat. But I said it already in a different way, and I'm going to repeat it, that this war in Afghanistan could be contained and stopped if Pakistan and Afghanistan sincerely work with each other to put an end to it.
Master, the process started, the dialogue process that was started between the Taliban and the Afghan government. Why did it derail, and what were the elements?
The elements is the fundamentals of the policies have not changed. That's the core issue. That's the core issue. If those changes, things will come around. Taliban will come around. They will afford peace. They will be pressured together. They will get the message. Right? They have not received that message.
But
that there is a sincere, combined, collective Afghanistan-Pakistan pressure and effort on them to come to terms with peace.
Yes, but the other players, it was not just Pakistan and Afghanistan. The United States and Chinese were also involved
Yes.
In this process.
Indeed.
And do you think that they have also lost the influence on Taliban?
The Taliban are killing the US soldiers, so why should they have influence over them, you know? They were there to facilitate and be helpful to us, to Pakistan and Afghanistan. I think at the end it is Pakistan and Afghanistan that has to find their way forward. It's not up to Chinese, it's not up to Americans, it's not up to any third country. It's up to Afghanistan and Pakistan to find a peaceful coexistence with each other.
You have lost all hopes that this peace process will not be...
No, I'm not. No, I've never lost hope. I must not lose hope. First of all, I have not lost hope on changing the Pak-Afghan relations. At the end, there is absolutely no way, no other way than for us to be friendly, for us to be cordial, to us to be special friends. We have friendship with India, no doubt. It's a special friendship. But India can never be a substitute for Pakistan. Geographically, it can never be a substitute for Pakistan. And of course, we have historic connections. But in Pakistan, they are 100 times more. So, and that needs to be understood. That needs to be understood. The way it is interpreted, our relationship with India is sort of a zero-sum game. This much closeness with India means this much
away from Pakistan.
That's not how it should be viewed. We could be this much close to India and this much close to Pakistan. And that's how we should think. This mindset that India is influencing Afghanistan to be hostile towards Pakistan.
That's what the perception
That's
is.
the perception. That is a disrespect to the intelligence of Afghans. We are so stupid that India comes and tells us and we do it, even they think destroys us.
But here, you know, some people think that you are playing the Indian card against Pakistan.
What for? For what national benefit?
But to put pressure on Pakistan to actually yield to the demands, whatever.
Look, the statement of connecting Afghanistan to India and all that mostly has come from Pakistan, not from us. The Prime Minister's special envoy to the US, Senator Mujahid Hussain. He talks in the US and he says there could not be peace in Kabul unless there is peace in Kashmir. Kashmir is none of our business. Why should Kabul be connected to? That statement came from here. A responsible politician, a senator, who also was the Prime Minister's special envoy, and he issues that statement. And it's a condemnable statement. It should be within Pakistan. Why? And those certainly creates those perceptions in Afghanistan as well, that look, you are connecting us. We want, of course, Afghanistan, if your relationship with India improves, we hope that happens, it will be good for Afghanistan, but your relationship with India is none of our business, and must not be none of our business. We want the best for the people of Kashmir. What is best for them, let that happen. But Kashmir issue is none of our business. We don't want to be side, either with you or with India on this. But it's mostly from Pakistan connecting us to that.
Thank you, Mr. We'll take another short break and we'll come back. नाज़रीन एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हमारी पाकिस्तान में अफगानिस्तान के सफ़ीर मोहतरम से we were talking about. But this perception or theory in Pakistan that you are giving space to India in Afghanistan, or the Indian footprint in Afghanistan is expanding.
Sure.
Given the relationship between Pakistan and Afghanistan, you know it, Pakistan and India, this is a cause of worry for people here.
First of all, do you accept our sovereignty or not?
Yes.
As a sovereign nation, do you accept that we have the right to have forced relationship with whoever we want?
Yes.
Right? So, as a sovereign nation, it's none of Pakistan's business to dictate us that we can have relationship with India or not. That's one. Second, as your close neighbor, we should be mindful of your sensitivity.
Yes.
That we
that's
should be.
what is
Okay,
required.
we should be. The proposal from us is we will accept any proposal from Pakistan, that does not interfere with our sovereignty. Any proposal to verify that India does not use our soil against you. But at the same time, a proposal to verify that those who fight us in Afghanistan do not use your soil against us. That we put forward. You accept a monitoring and verification by the Chinese, we are fine with that. Let's do that. You accept it by Turkey, let's do it. You accept it by any third party that's acceptable to both of us, let's do that. The UN, let's do it. This proposal has come from us. This proposal has come from us. In Afghanistan, you are a bigger country than we are, bigger population, we are a smaller country. On our soil, we still have the presence, a heavy footprint of the UN, a heavy footprint of the NATO forces, a few forces in other forces. They are mutual friends. They are already there. Let's get their assistance on this to make sure that not only from us, from them you hear, and they monitor, and if they see it, they tells us, look, here is in Indian institutions, there's harm in Pakistan, so that we put a stop to it. But then Pakistan should also be open to put a stop to whatever elements are operating on this side and destabilizing
Definitely,
Afghanistan.
but do you think that, Ambassador, that this should be made conditional, that with regard to Indian activities in Pakistan, or whatever is being done by India to harm Pakistan's
What do you mean?
interests?
No, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is we are not doing it. It's not in our national interests. I'm not conditionalizing it. I said you have doubts, we are open to that monitoring.
Let these other countries also play the role.
We are open to that monitoring. But it's Pakistan also, because we are suspicious of Pakistan, right? Of elements that destabilize us using Pakistan territory, is Pakistan also open to that? You come up with a solution and we will be open to it.
Ambassador, this bilateral relationship is hurt, of course. And do you think that there are prospects that the talk process or consultation or exchange of leadership on both sides, civilian and military, will take place soon, or the doors are closed?
No, not at all. We can never close our doors towards each other. I know that the statement, the way it was interpreted of our president in Amritsar, certainly there was a lot of reaction to it. I understand it. But the statement by Sartaj Aziz, he said, look, this is a statement that I may not like it, but it's understandable. That's what Sartaj Aziz said, and I like Sartaj Aziz's statement.
He also said that we should not allow India to wage division between the two.
We will not allow. I give you, as an Afghan, we will not allow India to destroy our relationship. But you, Pakistan, please do not destroy it. There are things that bilaterally we are doing that is destroying our relationship. Let's not put the blames on this and that and go to, all sorts of other explanations. There are explanations within us. There are explanations. I'll just give you a few examples. Torkham was closed. It's used by 10,000 travelers a day. Mostly patients come, right? And they use Pakistan facilities. They pay money for it. It's good for the economy. It's good for interaction. It was closed. Sick people for days, they couldn't come. India offered easier visas, reduced airfare, so that to facilitate that, who provided this opportunity? Spinbolda closed at the time of the height of the grape season. Ordinary farmers, their produce is destroyed and all that. India sent planes to lift that produce so that they could sell it in India. Whether we accept it, of course we will accept it. But who provided that opportunity? Is that India coming in to create a rift?
That comes under the border management thing,
No, it's not.
Because Pakistan's view is that
what I'm saying. These are even smaller things. If smaller things are mismanaged to this extent, you can imagine that bigger things certainly are. I'm just giving you Sharbat Gula, this iconic face, this beloved iconic face. And in here, there are hundreds of thousands of Afghans who are holding Pakistani cards, obtained through the process. And Sharbat Gula was one of them. Put in jail, made thousands of headlines and all that. And India announced that, look, and she was sick too, hepatitis C she had. India announced that, look, we will let Sharbat Gula take it to India and treat her there. You know, who provided that opportunity? If such little things, which had greater impacts on the mindsets of people on their sides, are so poorly managed, then you can imagine. I can give you tens and tens of examples.
But Master, what's the way forward?
The way forward is we have no alternative to direct, sincere interaction between us on issues. Denial and counter-denial is not,
in our interest.
Not in our interest. Statements, polished statements and all that, but then the policies are still the same, are not the solution. We have to acknowledge that we have issues. We have to acknowledge that we've mismanaged. We have to acknowledge that there's a need for fundamental change. We must show that this relationship on Afghan side, we must show to you that we value the best of our relationship with you, and Pakistan must show that Pakistan values
in the
its
coming
relationship
days,
with
in the coming days and weeks.
Yes.
Any political?
We are working. I mean, in the background, I should tell you that in this background that I am working here, I reach out. Whatever the media says and whatever the rhetoric is, whatever the negative publicity is, and all that is, I'm busy. I'm busy with this side and I'm busy with my side. Right? The state of this relationship is unfortunate. And this state must not be accepted. We must change it. And that those who are responsible must work responsibly to change it. I'm positive, I'm hopeful, despite where we are, but I think we can turn it around. We must turn it around for the sake of our people. For the sake of our people. We must do that. And I'm sure that we will find a way forward. I always say that within Afghanistan and Pakistan, it's a repetition of if we try 100 times and we fail, we must try 100 first. If we try 1,000 times and we fail, we must try 1,000 first. And if we still continue to fail, we should still continue to try.
Thank you, Bester.
Thank you.
नाज़रीन, आज के इस प्रोग्राम में आपने पाकिस्तान में इस्लामी जमहूरिया अफ़गानिस्तान के सफ़ीर डॉक्टर हज़रत उमर ज़ख़ील वाल की गुफ्तगू सुनी। उन्होंने पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान के दरमियान जो इस वक्त गलत फहमियाँ पाई जाती हैं और ख़ास तौर पर हिंदुस्तान के हवाले से कि हिंदुस्तान जो है वो अफ़गानिस्तान में ज़्यादा मुतहर्रिक और फ़ाल किरदार अदा कर रहा है, उसके हवाले से पाकिस्तान में जो गलत फहमियाँ हैं उनको दूर करने के लिए और पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान के बाहमी ताल्लुकात को बेहतर बनाने के लिए उन्होंने अपने ख़यालात का इज़हार किया। उनका ख़्याल है कि तमाम तर गलत फहमियों और तमाम तर शकूक व शुबात को दूर करने के लिए पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान को पुरखलूस कोशिशें करनी पड़ेंगी ताकि दोनों के जो ताल्लुकात हैं वो बेहतर हो सकें और वो बरादराना तौर पर, चूँकि वो दोनों ममालिक जो हैं जोग्राफियाई एतबार से, इस्लामी एतबार से, तारीख़ के एतबार से एक दूसरे के बहुत करीब हैं, उनको मज़ीद करीब आना चाहिए, लेकिन उसके लिए इक़दामात होने चाहिए जिनके लिए वो कोशिशें कर रहे हैं। इसी के साथ ये प्रोग्राम ख़त्म होता है। जावेद सिद्दीक़ को इजाज़त दीजिए। खुदा हाफिज़।
Thank you
very much.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure, mine.
Thank you so much.